What's going on, everybody? My name is Dan and welcome to my channel. Thanks for tuning in today. Today we're talking about if I had one I don't know how to do 1,000 in sign language. That was my anyway. If I had $1,000 to spend on backpacking gear and I didn't have any backpacking gear, this is exactly what I would buy. I mean, this is really the stuff. I spent a ton of time researching, thinking as a new backpacker, you know, what would get me through the most seasons, you know, the best temperature rate. I mean, all of that stuff. What would I buy? And there's some other stuff you could buy with $1,000. You can buy a 1992 Dodge Neon for $1,000. Actually, I don't even know if that's true because I really didn't look it up. And this is taking into consideration that it's even fall. Great time to go backpacking. But I don't like to backpack alone. I like to go with people. So I'm actually going to see if I can get a hold of some of my friends here. Let's try my buddy Steve out in California real quick.
That was close.
Okay, let's try Jeremiah.
He's always wanting something.
It's a little weird. Almost making it look like I don't have any friends. How about my buddy John, maybe? Let's see what he's up to. It's probably a bad signal. Let's try Jason. Jason's always good to go backpacking.
Dan Becker. Nah, I'm not gonna answer it. Every time we go backpacking, he's wearing skinny jeans.
All right. This is a great way to segue into the sponsor of today's video, Art of the Trek. So my friends over at Art of the Trek actually have a website put together that can help you organize group trips with people when you don't have people to hike with. All you have to do is go over to their website, buddies.artofthetrek.com, and they will help you figure out like who you are as a hiker, how far you like to hike, what weather conditions you like, your fitness level, your speed, all of that stuff, and they will match you up with people in your area or like wherever you're gonna go to hike with you. Buddies.artofthetrek.com, find a friend to go hike with. If I had $1,000, no gear, this is exactly what I would buy right now. The first thing I would buy is my shelter. The second thing I would buy is my sleep system. And the third thing I would buy is my backpack. I would buy it in that order because that way, you know, everything's gonna fit inside of everything else. So it just works out. You never wanna buy your backpack first. Just don't do that. Chances are you're buying the wrong size backpack because you haven't bought anything else yet. You don't even know what's gonna fit in there. But I've done all the work for you. This will all fit. It'll be great. It'll be perfect. And this is really gonna get you down to almost everything you need. Beyond your big three, your backpack, sleep system, and shelter, there's really not much else you really need to buy that's super expensive. I mean, you don't need to buy a jacket. You've got one in your house. Like, go in your closet and grab the 2-3 pound puffy jacket that you've already got in there. It's not a big deal because what I'm gonna show you today is ultralight, super lightweight stuff. You don't need to go out and buy a headlamp. Just use your flashlight on your phone if you have to. You don't have to buy a rain jacket. Go get a poncho from somewhere. You don't even need a food bag. You could just bring a grocery bag, like literally a plastic grocery bag, or some Ziploc bags to carry all your food in. So all of the other stuff beyond your big three, the stuff that you absolutely need, is just stuff you've probably already got laying around your house. Okay, my prerequisite in finding this stuff for you guys, it has to be stuff that I would use myself for sure. It has to be quality stuff because I don't like to buy super cheap stuff because I want it to work on trail. I've done backpacking long enough to know that, yeah, you can get away with really cheap, no-name brand stuff, a couple trips here and there. But if you're gonna continually go backpacking, if you're gonna get into it, you definitely wanna buy quality. So that way, you know it's gonna work for you out on trail. And then it's also gotta be lightweight and it's gotta be reasonably priced, which I think $1,000 for your big three is a great deal. I already know a lot of you guys are gonna be telling me in the comments below about these really awesome deals that you found somewhere on some tent or some backpack or whatever, or maybe you found some garage sale or some online forum where you bought a bunch of stuff. That's awesome. This video is geared for the person who doesn't really wanna have to think about shopping in obscure places to find like the cheapest gear for the big, I mean, they just are just like, just tell me what to buy. I'm leaving on a trip this weekend. I've got to figure this out. So this is my list of what I would buy. Here we go. It would be the NEMO HORNET 2-person tent. I've used a ton of different two-person tents. The reason I picked this particular tent is one, it's a two-person tent, so you usually get a little bit more room for a two-person tent, so the new guy is probably gonna appreciate that a little bit more when they've got bulkier gear and different things that they're trying to fit inside of that tent, just a little bit more comfortable. And then also it's super lightweight. This is one of the lightest weight options for a two-person tent on the market, and it's reasonably priced. It's actually less expensive than other tents in the same class. The one thing that this tent does lack a little bit is headroom. So, and I don't mean like from a height standpoint, I just mean from like a width standpoint. So one person inside of this tent is gonna fit really well. Two people, you can do it, but you're definitely gonna be bumping your head on the mesh interior, the tent portion of the tent. But other than that, fantastic tent. This is definitely what I would buy. Now, I was looking for a sleeping bag over a quilt for a couple of different reasons. I think a sleeping bag is better for a newer backpacker or somebody who's really just buying gear for the first time. They're just trying to get out and try this whole thing out of backpacking. I think they're easier from a standpoint of they've learned how to do it their whole life. And a quilt, honestly, is a really learned experience. Some people get it right away. A lot of people don't, and they get cold at night and they don't really know how to use it, or they don't know how to purchase one correctly. But I picked a quilt. The biggest reason I picked a quilt is because one, the company I trust is a great company, and two, a quilt is gonna fit in that $1,000 budget that we're trying to stay under. It's much less expensive than even the like super budget down sleeping bags that are out there. And I did pick a down quilt over a synthetic quilt because it's lighter and it's just gonna get you the best possible result. So the quilt that I chose is this one here. It's the UGQ BANDIT quilt. This particular quilt is a 20-degree quilt, which I would highly recommend that be the temperature rating that you pick. And I always say that because it's the most versatile temperature rating in my opinion. In other words, it'll kind of keep you through most of the year. I mean, assuming you're not gonna like camp in ultra extreme temperatures. But the one that I chose isn't this particular exact quilt. It's actually the one, they call it their dynamic tension. And it's really just, I got one here to show you. So basically, along the quilt, this is the foot box down here. This is the head end down here. They put a piece of shot cord along the side here that you can pull on, and what that does is it actually wraps the quilt up underneath you, more like a sleeping bag. So that costs like an extra, I think, $10 to add that to their quilts. And then for the sleep pad, I'm kind of bouncing between two. I did choose one for you guys, but I think there's reasons for it. But honestly, I'm gonna show you two. They're both very similarly priced, and they both could do really well for you, but I'll tell you why I picked one over the other. So I picked the Thermarest Neo Air Uberlight, and I picked the NEMO Tensor Insulated. Now these are obviously much different in sizes. This one's really, really lightweight. This one's a little bit heavier, but it's still considered extremely lightweight. This one is the one I would recommend that you get for a newer backpacker. It's insulated, so this is gonna get you down into lower temperatures. However, you can't go wrong with this one either. This one is a great pad, still very comfortable. It just doesn't get as warm. This one gets you down to, I don't know, maybe in the mid 40s to low 40s. I'm a warm sleeper, and this pad worked really well in those temperatures for me. So this one's gonna get you down into probably the low 30s, possibly even the high 20s. So anyway, I would pick the NEMO Tensor insulated pad. And if it were me, I would also make sure my pad is nice and wide as a new backpacker, 25 inches versus 20 inches, so you're not rolling off it at night. Now, the backpack that I would recommend for you to stay under that $1,000 is one that I don't have here today because I actually gave it away to a friend of mine. Not because I didn't like it, but I've got other backpacks that I prefer, but we're trying to stay under that $1,000 price tag. It's the Granite Gear Crown 260. I have a whole review on this backpack as compared to some of my more expensive backpacks that I'll link right here for you guys, so you can check that out. But it is a backpack that weighs right around 2 pounds, and it holds a good amount of weight and has out of the roof ratings from so many people who love that backpack, guys that have hiked the AT in it, people that use it for months on end, thousands of miles. I've used it myself. I highly recommend that backpack. As of right now, from today's date, it is my pick for the best budget backpack out there. But I do want to throw this out there as well. I am going to be testing out this backpack. This is the Outdoor Vitals SHADOWLIGHT 45. This isn't even available yet. It's going to be available, so I hope they're okay with me showing this to you guys. But it weighs 2 pounds, and it's supposedly awesome. It's still got the tag on it. I haven't tried it, but I do have it. I am going to be testing it out on an upcoming trip, probably in the next month and a half to 2 months, so stay posted on this. But this could be an option for you guys if you want to check that out as well, because it's right around that same price point as the Granite Gear backpack. Okay, but I do have good news for you guys. I can actually save you money on some of this stuff. Many of you guys know I have an affiliate program with Backcountry, and I have a coupon code there. It's Dan15. This video is not sponsored by them at all, but I can save you 15%. So let's say you went out and decided to buy the sleep pad, the backpack, and the tent, because the UGQ quilt obviously isn't there, but the Granite Gear backpack is. Obviously the Outdoor Vitals backpack isn't sold there, but the other 3 items are sold there. Normally they would come to, what is 189 plus 169 plus 314. With my 15% off, it looks like I could save you almost $100 off of all that stuff. So that would be actually really cool. And you'd have extra $100 to go out and buy your headlamp and your food bag or whatever other stuff you want to get for your backpacking trip. I'll put links to all of this stuff in the description below if you guys want to go check out this stuff yourself. All right, guys, if you like this video, make sure you give me a thumbs up, hit the bell notification so I can send you a video every time it's released. Hit me up on Instagram, and I will put that right here so you know where to find me. And I will see you on the next one.